I mean, you basically minus, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. You did like
in New York City.
Of the pizza, New York reviews.
I mean, wait, we just hit 1,000 recently. Yeah.
That's nuts, yeah.
It was every single day.
And you become, Old Right Frankie becomes the catchphrase.
Not easily, though. Remember when he tried to fire me?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So, dude, I'm working at Borrelli's Italian restaurant for my dad, and then the next week I'm working for Barstool Sports for Dave Portnoy. Yeah. I didn't know what to do, right? And he hired me as his guy. Tell me my schedule. Come up with ideas for me.
You're a cameraman, but you are more of you're an assistant.
Yes.
You're like a secretary. You're a travel coordinator, and you have to be like his brain and producer a little bit.
It was mostly his brain he wanted, an extension of it. Like, think like me. Come into my office every single day with 10 ideas and just fucking rattle them off. And I was like, all right. So I'm sitting there.
Which is funny because he doesn't do anything that he doesn't come up with, but whatever.
But there were times, so my first week I went home at 5:30 because people were leaving. And I remember walking, do you remember when I walked into his office?
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I'm going to go. He goes, where are you going?
Yeah.
And I remember feeling that hot feeling in the back of my neck.
Downstairs to get dinner for you. You want anything?
And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know, everyone's leaving. He's like, and then he did the classic,
go ahead if you want.
No problem, go home. And I was like, so I sat right back down in my seat. I stayed there till 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. And that was the only time I've ever, I think, really upset him at that point.
Right.
Until now. I don't think he ever was.
I feel like I don't know if he said something to me specifically, but I think I knew that you were in hot water. I knew you were in trouble. Did we ever talk about it? I feel like I remember talking to somebody about it.
I think you came up to me and you're like, what's going on? Because a month went by and I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
I was learning how to edit pizza reviews from Millmore.
I feel like we had a conversation where I was like, all right, you're at, I think I had gotten word that you were on the chopping block. It was going to happen that day almost or something. And I remember feeling, whether it was with you or somebody, I was like, you gotta now's the time to change whatever it is. You know what I mean?
So Dave takes me to this. We're at this pizza place called Vezzo Thin Crust Pizza. It was either Vezzo or Topo. I'm pretty sure it was Vezzo. They're both the same place, same owner.
And they also have a custom pie, regular crust with marinara sauce and cheese. So I don't know what their cheese is. Which one's their cheese? I'm asking you a question, pizza guy.
Can you repeat them again?
Yeah.
So Vezzo, we're sitting there, and there's a little outside area on the right side, and he sits me down. It was when we did a pizza review, we were sitting down. I think they didn't have takeout at the time, so we're sitting at a table, and he's like, listen, man, I think I gotta, let you go. This isn't working.
Yeah.
And, hearing that from Dave was, so I'm super emotional, and I get crazy, and I started, almost tearing up, and I go, and I look down, and I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. And this is the biggest lie I've ever told. I'm I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I'm my dad won't hire me back at my restaurant. I gave everything up for this. As if my dad, who's the nicest man in the world, would love to have me come back to the restaurant. Dave doesn't know any of this yet.
No, of course.
I'm my dad just won't take me back.
I've been kicked out of the house. The family's disowned me.
I'm you don't know what I did to come here. I'm he just hired someone for extra money to run the place because I couldn't. And Dave's relax, all right.
Wow.
But Dave felt bad. Dave's
That's what's funny. Dave's an asshole, but he does have a heart in the weirdest spots, and if you find a way, he'll be all right, now you can work here for life.
So he was just I'll give you, he goes, you just need to be better. Start going with ideas. And I remember the next week was the marathon, the New York State Marathon. And I came up with an idea of him wearing a marathon bib and an outfit, and I found 6 places in consecutive.
So because I remember that sticks out in my mind. That was a really good idea.
And I was Dave, let's do this.
Probably sealed, even if you probably you could have gone right back to being lazy almost like that. But you did one thing that. That was that good. That's probably all it took to say.
That was it. And then I remember we did something controversial where he asked me to go film something where he was yelling at someone on the street or something. I remember that being right after that, and I did that well with the phone, and I didn't care that people were bumping into me, and he's all right, now we're rolling.
Right.
And then we went. Well,
you know what's interesting too is you were at a spot where 2 important things were happening. One, Barstool was going from, you said, 10 dudes just kind of hanging out, to, a company. And Dave always believed, there's that famous rundown of him being people across America want to be Barstool, boardrooms, companies want to be like us. So he had always had that vision of like, we're gonna be the real fucking deal. And so that was the beginning of it for him. So whether or not you realize it, you probably came in more with the mentality of like 10 guys hanging out, like it's, you know, a laid back thing, where Dave was like, it's time to be like a media company. 2, you were at the beginning of like Dave becoming a fucking megastar, which again, he also always had that in his head.
Yeah.
So like you probably had to very quickly realize like, this isn't just like a frat house. I'm not just gonna get a beer for the guys and, you know, I have to like do it for real.